Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It's been a while and I've missed you, but we are back now to a new tournament. With me, as always, is Mr. Dunphy himself.
Hello, how are we going?
Yeah, good. So, I mean, it's in a different time slot. We are currently on a Thursday, not a Tuesday, so I thank you to everyone who tuned in on this abrupt change. But this tournament is actually being run by none other but Chisholm itself.
Yeah, the Chisholm Invitational. It's our first time running this tournament, the inaugural tournament for the for the year. Hopefully, many more to come. So, yeah, big things coming in for Chisholm.
It sounds like it. And just this year, I mean, we started off with an esports program, and many people didn't know if that was going to work. And now we're running our own tournament. Yeah, so I'm afraid of what will happen next year.
It's building.
I reckon we get a tournament. We get it in a convention center. I don't know if we have the budget for that, but
it'll come.
I'm pitching for Boondall. Pitching for Boondall. I think all the best things are at Boondall.
We'll just scrap the Brisbane Bullets and we'll take over.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't need them anyway. So let's go over a few things just about how the tournament will run and the values of the tournament itself. So very much the Chisholm Invitational and all high school esports in general has just a very big anti-toxicity mindset.
Yeah, definitely. Because look, going through other competitions, it's clear, like, you never want to come up against an opponent that is spamming emotes and, typing in the chat and being BM. Like, it makes you feel bad and brings the whole team down. It's not a good environment to be in, and especially in a high school setting. Like, this can all relate back to, in a high school, online bullying and these bad things like that. And we just want to completely scrap that, get that connotation away from esports as a way to compete, because you don't get that that much in conventional sport, at least from a basketball sense, of people screaming in your face in the game. So why should you deserve this in an esports setting as well?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, the whole bullying aspect is such a rampant issue in high schools. As Mr. Dunphy said, we do not want that to drag over onto our tournament here. Very much. I'm all for this. And with us, we should probably mention the teams that are playing. So we do have the newest addition to the Chisholm Esports category, the Chisholm Chiefs Green.
Yeah. So these guys came up, expanding the Chiefs because it's been such a positive sign this year, with so many more people coming in since the first Chiefs were made, that we've got the development side that's come in, and that's then formed our second side, our second Chiefs team, which is just on par with that first Chiefs team. So we're expanding. It's great. It's good signs.
Yeah. I mean, we've got two esports teams now, own tournament. Yeah. Again, I am very afraid of what will happen next year. I feel like it's only going to keep going up and up. But now, so on that side, we've also got St. Eugene's. I believe a lot of them are a newer team. I was looking at their levels before. They do have one player who is, I believe, sitting around that 226 level. Meanwhile, everyone is averaging. The rest of them are averaging around like level 8 and a little bit lower. So they are a new team, and it's actually really awesome to see that. People that necessarily might not have done much in terms of esports before, or playing video games competitively, and just for them to even give it a go, have a crack, as my old principal used to say.
Exactly. You have to start somewhere. You can't expect to join your first tournament and completely destroyed and win. Like, they still might. We don't know.
I mean, they might. We'll see how this goes out.
But it is good to see.
I think it was Bexa, and I hope I'm saying that name correctly. I looked at his solo queue. He went like 23-2 as a Rengar. And that was a Rengar bot lane with a Yumi.
Oh, Rengar 80 carry.
Yeah. I mean, he definitely was 80
years ago.
I mean, Rengar's good. But let's go over the picks and bans here. So for St. Eugene, we have Nasus, Caitlin, and Zoe all being banned out. And because of the 5-minute timer, the 5-minute delay there for the Chiefs, they did have to lose out on a ban, unfortunately. So the Greens there have banned out the Jacks and the Heimerdinger. They don't want they don't want the Heimerdinger. They're afraid of the turrets.
Afraid of the Heimerdinger.
I mean, they're respecting the Heimerdinger, and I'm all for that.
I want to see a Heimerdinger.
And the picks here now are Alawi and Trundle going in to St. Eugene there, and Darius and Kha'Zix being picked for the greens. Darius is just such a strong top laner going against the Alawi. It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. They do both have healing. They do both are very big bruisers, and they can 1v1 quite effectively. I mean, once Alawi gets those tentacles slapping around, you'd be afraid. You don't want to be in any of that. It also is really great if a gank goes wrong, she's able to capitalize off that pretty easily.
I'm not sure how I feel having Darius on the Chiefs, you know?
I mean, we're used to versing it.
I know, and it's my most hated champion in the absolute game. For all those people that's followed the stream before, they know I banned it in every single game I've ever played.
Maybe
so
we're
I'm
working
torn.
around.
I'm torn.
Maybe this will be start of a...
If you can't beat it, join it? Right.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. just pick the OP people and play them. The Vigar being picked up in the mid lane there for St. Eugene. He's going to be smacking and he's going to be stacking. He's going to be getting that AP. The more minions he kills, the more champions he hits with the abilities there. He's going to get more and more ability power until he one-shots you with his R, and then you just had to get your hands off the keyboard because all you're seeing is grey. And then on the speaking of grey screen, the Akali being picked as well. And Akali, she has a very good pick and ban rate in Worlds at the moment, and there is a reason for that. She is very, very scary.
Oh, they changed her quite recently.
Yeah, so the recent patch that just came through, she did get a little bit of an adjustment there, but I mean, it's still Akali. She's still, if she's left unchecked, she's still going to be slicing and dicing through your team.
Very, very intimidating to see once she, when she just starts jumping around everywhere and goes invisible too. So.
And the last two bans there for St. Eugene are Brand and Blitzcrank. Speaking of Blitzcrank, I don't know why. I don't know what they were thinking by extending the hook range of Blitzcrank.
They ruined bot lane.
Well, I mean, there's a lot more interesting tactics you can do. I believe if you are on bot side, if you stand at your opponent's blue buff from the river, you can actually pull it from over the wall.
No way!
Yeah, it does have it has a very long reach. So essentially, you are now just ruining other people's days.
Ban it out. Get rid of it. I don't want to verse it.
It is great. It is the best ganker for mid lane because you think you're safe, but then now that extra 100 range is just grabbing you from out of nowhere. And then on the other side there, the Tristana and Yuumi being banned out. Obviously, seeing that Bexa did play with that Rengar Yuumi, and I mean, Yuumi is just a strong pick overall. I mean, you are versing essentially a 4v5 there, but it's like a 4v5 just with an attached head. They just got permanently someone that's just always helping them out. The last two picks for St. Eugene are Misfortune and Leona, and then for the Chisholm Chiefs Greens, there is the Jhin and the Janna.
Yeah. What do you think about that bot lane matchup?
Oh, I'm loving the MF and Leona. They work really well together, especially with the aggression, being able to use Leona's passive and get that extra magic damage proc with all of MF's abilities. I mean, and MF in general does have a very good hard engage with Leona, considering Leona has, that AoE stun on her ult. And then the Jinjana is a much more passive lane, very reactionary. The Janna is actually a very good pick into Leona. If you can time it correctly, you can actually knock her up when she Zenith Blades in, which is Leona's E. So when she dashes into you, if you can get that Janna knock up with the Hurricane, you can actually stop the engage altogether.
Yeah, it's a lot of disengage that Janna has, right?
And it is going to work with the Jhin, because essentially the Leona and the Misfortune are just going to be wanting to dive in all the time.
Yeah.
And Janna with her shield is only going to help the Jhin out. I feel like depending on, I feel like if Jhin Janna step out of lane and maybe they accidentally make a mistake there, MF and Leona can capitalize that on really quickly. But then on the other team, I mean, you're looking at if they just allow Jhin and Janna just to sit back and just to poke them over and over again, then they're probably not going to do as well.
I'm really excited to see how Scary Monster in the jungle goes with Kha'Zix for the Chiefs green. I was speaking to Scary Monster in training yesterday, and he was pulling up his op.gg and showing me his match history, and he was pumping out that Kha'Zix with some insane scores.
Yeah.
So I'm low-key expecting big things here, Scary Monster. If you come back and rewatch this, I'm calling you out. I want a big game.
It is just actually going back onto the team comps here. The Janna's running Ignite. The Leona is running Exhaust and Heal. Now that might be because it maybe is a new player who doesn't know about Flash, or it could be some new meta. But the Exhaust Heal is an interesting combination. Usually you don't tend to run something like that. You do want to run maybe an Ignite and then an Exhaust, an Ignite and a Flash, or an Exhaust and a Flash.
Is there any situation where you don't want Flash?
Well, no.
I feel like you need it.
Sometimes, unless you're Yumi will play
Yeah,
Exhaust and a heal, or she'll play Ignite and a heal, and then the AD carry will take Teleport.
Yeah.
Because you can just go with your
True.
AD carry.
Yeah.
So in that situation with a Yumi pick, that's when you would kind of lean off not having the Flash. Unfortunately, it might look like the Leona might have some struggle getting into... Well, I'd say not getting into, but escaping from ganks, whether it is from the Kha'Zix or whether it is from the Akali. Just she's going to be stuck behind if she doesn't have that instant blink out. But at the same time, she doesn't really need it to go in.
Yeah.
It's not someone... She's not reliant on that Flash to engage. It's not someone we want to flash and then auto attack. She has that Zenith Blade, which does have that range. She has
exactly.
the ultimate, which can hit you from a while away. And then once you hit that, you can engage off that. So it's more for the disengaging on the Flash as opposed to the engaging, where it might come in handy. And also, the Alawi is also running Barrier as opposed to Teleport. Now, whether that is respecting Darius's early damage or she is going to try to play more aggressive on top of that, we'll see. But the Darius should have lane dominance just because that teleport is going to help them push up so far. And then also now going into the loading screen here, the Darius is running Conqueror and the Alawi is running Grasp of the Undying. So they're going to be equal kind of early game. Conqueror's not going to be there, but early game Alawi might have a little bit more health regen. But when it gets to late game and those elongated fights, the Darius is just going to have so much control just with the heal from Conqueror.
Yeah, I mean... You said that Darius is going to have the early lane presence anyway. I mean, it's Darius. When is he not?
Yeah, and I guess it comes down to Alawi hitting those E's and being able to rip his spirit from out of him and then slap it down and then make sure that you can do that proxy damage per se. I guess it will also come down to Bexa being the star player on their team, waiting for him to do the gank, waiting for him to gank, and waiting for him to have that pressure on those lanes. He also is running Conqueror as a Trundle, so looking to play more aggressive as that jungler. It would be interesting to see whether he goes more damagey as opposed to, say, a Bruiser tank build.
Yeah, very true. I've just noticed as well that at the top lane, Darius basketballer is running the Dunkmaster Darius skin as well.
It's
so
a great.
I'm liking that.
The theming of the whole.
Liking the theme.
Yeah, the theme. I respect a good theme. It's names and then matching it up to skins.
Yeah.
We had a real when the OCal was on, there was some really great bot names.
Yeah.
It's like, did you guys plan this? But apparently, they didn't, and it was just it just happened to be that they had two names that they just came together.
Oh, that's perfect.
Like a Disney princess tale, and it just fit. But the Viger, from what I've seen, also hasn't picked up a health pot, which will put him at a little bit of a disadvantage there for the Kali. Don't know whether he accidentally didn't buy that many a time, but I have gone into lane without any items as well, so I know the feeling.
Yes.
He will be at a little bit of a disadvantage there against the Akali, but early game it shouldn't matter too much because he can just outrange the Akali, throw up those walls, just continue to queue. You just want to farm the minions, and you just want to get to a point where even when Akali engages on you, you can just pretty much just pop that R and then just turn her into a comet.
Yeah, you can just get 1,000
You want to
AP
treat her like
late game and one-hit someone.
Like the dinosaurs. Akali is the dinosaurs, and then you're the asteroid that just comes in and then makes them extinct.
See ya.
Yeah, so we'll see how this lane plays out. Looking like the traditional bot side, the traditional jungle start there with Trundle starting at the red. Meanwhile, Kha'Zix went for his red on top side, whether that is looking for maybe a more aggressive push into the top lane and taking down the Alawi to give Darius an early advantage there. We'll see what happens there, but it might also be a gank mid. But Alawi is also pretty pushed up at the moment, so we'll wait and see what happens there.
Looks like he's coming down. I don't think he wants to get that level 2 gank just yet.
It could be even maybe an invade there, but he has done a full clear.
Yeah.
So he is going to be losing out on the Trundle And the Trundle, as we've been saying, is the most experienced player on that team. So he's going to know what Kha'Zix can do, and he's going to try and make sure that Kha'Zix doesn't want to do what Kha'Zix can do.
Yeah.
Especially with those really, he's able to solo the objectives really easily because they are isolated and he does get that damage through isolation.
He can jungle really farm,
Yeah.
can't he? Because you clear the side minions and just
Even
isolate.
Dragon and Scuttle can just get absolutely demolished just due to his isolation damage. There's a nice stun there coming up from Jhin there with a lot of damage. That MF looking kind of low. They're forced to pull back, and that's what I was talking about with that poke. As soon as they step out of line, but the Trundle coming into mid lane, the Akali throwing down the Shroud. Trundle putting up the Ice Pillar, but I don't know if he's going to be able to connect there. Akali walking away while slinging that blade up in the air like a helicopter.
Good disengage.
Good disengage, and also didn't blow any summoners there. No summoners were burned. The 2 heals were burned down in bot side, so they will be down that supportive healing through the summoner spells. Nice Janna. Hurricane picking them both up. The Alawi just getting pulled in and slapped a little bit by the Darius there. The Q coming down from Alawi, which triggers the tentacle. Which triggers the tentacle to slap down onto Darius, which is also going to give Alawi a little bit of health back.
Yeah, Alawi just winning that trade out.
Oh, and she gets the pull there, and now she's just going to smack it a little bit, forcing Darius to maybe get out of the range, which therefore he will activate the debuff from Alawi. This is like some Yu-Gi-Oh talk right now. Then I play my trap card.
My trap card.
Pretty much, yeah. And then so what will happen is if the Alawi triggers a bonus, so when she pulls that spirit out of Darius, what he can do is he can either, I will talk to this maybe later, whether the Jhin goes in, but there's no engage there. The Alawi, what she does is she pulls the soul, I guess it is, out of Darius there. And if she managed to take down that soul and destroy it, or if he exits out of a certain range, he gets a debuff. That when he walks past any tentacles, the tentacles will actually slap down onto him automatically, which makes recalling very, very difficult. And that was a nice tornado coming up from Janna. So that's what I'm talking about, this top lane here. It might go either way. Look at Darius' health compared to Alawi. Alawi's used a lot more mana than what she has. The Trundle here maybe going in, trying to steal the Scuttle Crab, but Kha'Zix is now retaliating there, trying to make sure that he knows that this is his jungle, but Trundle making that mistake and trying to run away. The Q, the Chomp going out, the Flash being burned as well. Kha'Zix has asserted dominance and also taking the Scuttle Crab. That is going, you got to feel good as a Kha'Zix for that. Burning the Flash out. The Alawi's now sitting there, just maybe wondering whether the Kha'Zix will come up. I wonder, there is no ward there, so she was just playing a little bit careful, knew that the Kha'Zix was in jungle side and possibility that would come top. And the Flash there coming in from Viger with the Ignite. Interesting.
It's the oi, go away, Ignite.
Yeah, exactly.
Get off me.
It's just reduction.
I warned you.
Yeah, and I mean with with this team as well, a lot of the players are new, so their mechanical skill won't be as experienced as some other teams. So I mean, everyone learns. You know,
exactly.
Everyone learns different ways, and everyone learns. I mean, I definitely learned how to play this game very early on, and that was a nice Flash actually disengaging there. That possibly, if Jhin and Janna wanted to go in, they could have probably taken down MF there. The Leona wasn't in a position to negate a lot of the damage. But yeah, I mean, when I started playing, I know my friend, when he started playing, even if he's listening to this, he played Morgana with a Runan's Hurricane. And I told him that Morgana with a Runan's Hurricane is not a good build, and he just was like, no. He's like, it's good because I can farm 3 minions at once. But I'm like, no, get a Zhonya's. And he's like, no, I'm not listening to you.
Does he still do that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's played League in a while, but I mean, it was his go-to build. But as long as you're having fun by the end of it, that's all that really matters.
Exactly. I used to play full crit strike Blitzcrank and call it Crit Crank.
Oh, yeah. I used to love playing AP Blitzcrank with Deathfire's Grasp, which is a really old item.
Yeah.
Essentially what would happen, well, the Darius is now pulling Alawi in, and Alawi pulls out Darius' soul, plus the W there, but the Tentacle wasn't up to engage the extra slap, but it's now going to hit the soul there. Darius now gets a debuff, and he's going to be seeing things underwater. He's like Ariel under the sea at the moment. And there's the Tentacle. Yeah, as you can see, like he automatically spawns tentacles around him, and then they're just going to slap down on him. So now Alawi does have that lane presence now. She automatically is able to zone off because she periodically spawns those tentacles. And with the W hit, whenever she hits someone with a W, the nearest tentacles will also attack that target.
Have you played much of Alawi? It seems like you've played a lot of Alawi.
When she came out, I did play a lot of Alawi. I found her really interesting and her kit was really cool.
Yeah.
I love her in team fights. If you get a 5v5 and you ult,
just the damage is insane in team fights, hey.
for those who don't know, Alawi's ultimate is she slams the ground, and there's a Kali going in as well, going to throw down the Shroud to negate any other damage and maybe poke that's coming out from Vega. Vega's able to hit the W off. Akali misses the ult and the Q as well. Vega surviving by the skin of his teeth, and Akali picks it up with the second activation of her W. But man, the Veigar had some fleet footwork there. He was able to dodge the skills.
No. Didn't run away though, just sit there and took it.
But he survived a lot more than what I thought he was.
Yeah.
And there's the Darius as well, just taking more damage from those tentacles. And I mean, that's the power of Alawi. She is a lane bully. That's what I'd classify her as. Yeah. And looking at the CS difference as well, Alawi does have 55 CS compared to the Darius 41. However, I don't believe Darius has gone back yet, so Alawi did have an item advantage there. Darius has now gone back and picked up his phage, so we'll see how that plays out. Alawi also respecting Darius with the cloth. And here's come Kha'Zix here. The Leona unfortunately doesn't have a flash to jump out of the situation. Janna's going to throw up that tornado and knock her up, and Jin's going to be able to pick up that kill there. Just a nice easy gank there from the Kha'Zix. They did have the ward in the tri-brush, which is a pink ward, so they did know that no wards were there, and it was a safe Kha'Zix gank. And now the Alawi throwing down the damage onto Darius, but she is out of mana, and Darius is hungry for her. The basketball is over her head. We're waiting for that dunk to come down, but we didn't see it because the Trundle fight is in the mid lane now. The Trundle now being taken down, and the Alawi also being taken down by minimal health by the Darius.
Oh, burn.
Just that Darius passive, you think it's going to do like a little bit less than what it actually does.
Yeah.
But it always just seems to kill you.
It does.
You're like, maybe I'll survive this time. Nope.
Nah, all those stacked of those flaming basketballs around you, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Akali now going in as well. The Ignite being dropped by Veigar. Throwing down that Ignite again, and the Akali using the Shroud to jump away. And there's almost 2 plates taken down in the bot lane, and there's a nice Q bounce coming up from MF there, hitting onto the Jhin. Is just Veigar, just stacking. Keep stacking, man.
Look at the all the wards on the bot lane. They've got that lit up like a Christmas tree.
That is definitely something where they are. You can tell where the priority sits for Kha'Zix.
Yeah.
Knowing that he is going to be playing very aggressive and wanting to get that early dragon advantage, it does make sense that he's going to be focusing a lot more vision over to that bot side.
Well, they've warded it really well, and he came down. He got that early dragon, and he's rotated that into 2 kills already. So. Yeah. Doing exactly what he's planned.
But speaking of wards, there goes Trundle, just clearing out the garden. Found a ward, shouldn't be there, pulling out the weeds.
Give me that 30 gold.
Yeah. And there's the Veigar dropping the ult down, actually taking Akali down a little bit lower than what I think she was expecting. And just back to trading and back to farming. And whether this Akali will stay, I think she might make a mistake here of staying a little bit too long and maybe not respecting the Veigar damage that can come out. He does do a remarkable amount of burst damage, and she's sitting kind of low.
Yeah, with that first blood and the 4 kills, the Chiefs are sitting on a bit of a 3k gold advantage at the moment already early in this game. There's, I think, a lot of that, the Veigar CS discrepancy with the Akali, quite big already for 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and there's Kha'Zix now jumping into bot side, but before that he's going to be able to take down one tentacle. The Alawi's now going to pull out Kha'Zix's soul, but there's the ult come down, everyone's slapping, everyone's coming down, but Alawi might be able to grab a double kill out of this. This is what I was saying before, the power of Alawi! She controls the sea gods.
So much damage.
You have to respect the Alawi. This is what I warned everyone about.
Yeah, you don't want to fight once that ulti comes down.
You just want to make sure the ulti's down before you gank.
Yeah.
And I mean, we were talking about Bexa maybe having the primary control over this game, but it looks like the Alawi on top side's definitely got a grasp on this.
Well, they just picked up that kill, then they got 2 turret plates as well. That's really going to help them on that gold advantage coming back.
And it's also going to help the gold advantage on the Trundle, who is able to come top for a little bit and gain that extra gold, since he is a little bit behind compared to Kha'Zix. That hopefully will balance out the gold discrepancy there. But that's what I'm worried about. That Alawi in team fights. You saw how much damage she did to 2 people. Imagine if she had like 3 more tentacles on top of that, and they're all just slamming down, hitting everyone.
Just chunking people.
She then heals for every champion hit. On that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So every time she hits a champion with tentacle, she actually gains a little bit of HP back. So, and that stacks.
Gross.
So in team fights, you think you can take her down, but she actually isn't able to do anything. And there's
here's
the
the-
Leona stun coming out, the ult being missed, the MF almost being dropped now. The MF now going down, the Janna pushing the Leona back. The Leona unfortunately stunning a minion, but the Janna's knockup coming out. The Jhin just missing his W, but the Leona's got to try and stay and fight, trying to take out the Janna. But the Janna Ignite goes down, the Janna picks up the Leona kill there, and that was a nice fight coming up from the Chiefs greens here, but Trundle is also sitting just in this brush here, but they do have a ward there knowing that he's going to be able to sit there, and they're going to be able to find that one out. But there was a nice 2 for 0 engage there, and the Alawi now is just going to go back onto the Darius here. And excuse me for a moment.
It looks like they're going to take some turret plates down bottom as well to capitalize off that double kill. So a lot of gold going on to Jhin right now. With he's got a 40 CS lead advantage on the MF and 2 kills. He's got that 200 gold bounty sitting on his head, so that was massive there in the bot lane. Yeah, and more tentacles being thrown down that top lane, just smacking around Darius under his turret.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. You need to respect the Alawi. I mean, we were talking before about how Darius is very scary, but Alawi is also very scary.
Alawi's winning this lane at the moment by the looks of it.
It's kind of like a John Wick scenario.
Yeah.
You know, the Baba Yaga. But yeah, I mean, going back into this bot lane obviously has such a commanding lead. There was actually some nice teamfight mechanics there coming out, but the MF just drops the ult down, but unfortunately she might be a little bit out of position. The Leona Zenith blades in, but the Jhin flashes in and is able to grab up that MF kill. Meanwhile, Leona is not giving up without a fight. Actually, she's going to turn around and run now. The Jhin being able to land down the snare, but the ult comes out, the violins are being played, and there's the snipe coming up from Jhin being able to pick up the Leona there.
Nice,
making him 4-0, and then just taking a tower shot.
They nearly got that final first turret of the game.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Trundle, that's where you don't want to be, my friend. But they'll be able to pick up the Scuttlecrab, Akali, Kha'Zix. Oh my! Here comes the Darius, but the Alawi is throwing down those tentacles. Maybe he'll be able to save her, but then she picks up 1 kill on the Darius, and meanwhile they pick up 2 for the green, the Chiefs green. I'm not going to get used to saying. I have to get used to saying it. I'll find a more fluid way to say that. But,
the Chiefs green.
But that's what I'm saying, is that Alawi, I mean, you have to focus everything on her. The longer she stays alive, the more tentacles she's slapping down, the more she's healing back, the more damage she's doing, and the more your health bar decreases.
Yeah, she's got that CS lead as well on that Darius at the moment. Although that was the 2 for 1 going for the Chiefs, their gold advantage is currently sitting about that 7k mark now for the Chiefs. So they're just extending this lead quite methodically. Really, they're playing quite a good game at the moment.
Yeah, and they also did pick up a Mountain Drake there, so now they're going to be doing extra damage to towers and objectives over the map, which would be Dragon, Scuttle, and Baron. Oh, and Herald. I say Void Scuttle. Herald's a Void Scuttle.
Yeah,
he's just a big Scuttle.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he is. He's a big Scuttle.
What's a scuttle?
The scuttle crabs in the jungle, the ones that you take down and then they give you vision.
A scuttle is like, okay, is that...
Yeah, he's a void scuttle.
Okay.
Right,
anyway, I would be worried now if I was in bot lane. The Leona's now going to force out the Jhin, but oh no, Jhin is 4-0. The Zenith Blade accidentally missing there. The Jhin also missing his W there. The MF is not giving up, but maybe has found herself in the incorrect position here. The Janna's going to be throwing down a few auto attacks there. The Leona unfortunately misses her ult. The MF is going to maybe be able to pick up something, but the Jhin picks up the kill on the Leona, making him 5-0, and that is very scary.
That is a very scary Jhin.
Yes, I mean, he's going to be able to now, he's got 1 Infinity Edge. Looks like he might go for a Static Shift now, but the Kha'Zix dropping on to the Trundle, picking him up.
That was a little bit of damage.
That was, I mean, the Kha'Zix now has damage as well, but that's the thing.
That's isolation.
Completely isolated. The Kha'Zix was able to pick that one up. The Akali getting the backflip ninja shuriken onto the Viger there. Maybe you're going to be able to jump in, but respecting the fact that Viger is under tower, and that's not necessarily where you want to be.
No.
Meanwhile, this Alawi is continually just pushing Darius in. The root coming out from Jhin there, stopping Viger in his tracks, and unfortunately they're not going to be able to do anything there, and the turret now being taken down in the mid lane. That will be the second turret for the Chiefs, the Chiefs green, which will only add to the gold disadvantage, now sitting at about 10k.
Looks like they might be rotating up to Herald or for a gank, either one.
I mean, at this point, what you want to do is you just want to run it down.
Yeah.
You want to make sure Alawi stays top, and you don't want to contest her. I mean, she is quite strong. I think she's going for Asterix Gauge first item.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Which will only add to her team fighting capabilities. Of course, it will only stack when she gets more and more health late game. The Akali has picked up her Gunblade, so now she's hit a power spike. The Jhin has Infinity Edge. I'm scared of that, and I need an adult. And then the Darius has picked up the Black Cleaver, which means that he's also going to be shredding. So people are now starting to pick up their first items, waiting to see what this Kha'Zix's picked. He's picked his E ability. So what will happen is now every time he gets a kill or an assist, the jump resets, so he can now just hip hop around, which is a lot of fun.
It is, yeah, it's great fun.
It is nothing more as a Kha'Zix when you just jump and one shot, jump, one shot, jump, one shot. It just
You really demoralize the other team when you do that.
no, it's just fun. It's hip hop. It's just vroom, 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 vroom. But there's a bit of a stalemate going on now in the mid. In the Baron. Yeah, the bit of a dance off. But there's a stun and the snare coming up from Jhin there. Unfortunately, well, it looks like the Leona is actually going to be able to come out of that. But the Alawi getting taken down, the General coming out. But the Darius being able to pick up the MF and the Trundle. And there's the Akali jumping onto the Leona. And unfortunately, Vigar's going to be taken down too. Oh no!
Nice
and that looks
ace.
like that might be the Herald as well. And they probably from here. Maybe would rotate over to Dragon or push it straight down mid.
Yeah, they're probably going to take this Rift Herald here. They might put it straight down, actually, if they're going straight down the mid lane. Run it down mid. It looks like going to most likely take this turret. The timers are just coming back up for St. Eugene, so they're just coming up right now. They're probably not going to be able to contest this. No, they're not. So it looks like they're probably going to rotate to Dragon now. Yeah, Kha'Zix is starting that Dragon. So massive play there for the Chiefs green. They got the ace, they got a turret. Looks like they can get a free Dragon from this and the Rift Scuttle. So looks like they'll probably reset and then run it straight down mid, or at least try to push out another lanes, use that Herald.
At this situation, you're looking at probably mid is the best lane to throw that Herald down.
Yeah.
You could probably throw it down top and get those two turrets, but at this moment, you really want to be pushing onto that inhibitor and make sure you get that pressure onto mid, so essentially someone has to stay mid all the time. That's what I would probably do. Then again, if you could throw it top lane, you'd be able to take down the one turret easy. And just send that down, because Darius does need a little bit of assistance in the top lane. He is getting pushed out by the Alawi there.
Well, St. Eugene's have 3 people in the bot lane at the moment. So it looks like Jhin is just going straight down the mid lane. That would be pretty smart to send some people mid right now. They've got a massive numbers advantage.
Yeah, they are, however, respecting the push from St. Eugene, and Jhin is now rotating down. They are obviously just concerned about taking that turret and getting that turret taken down, which will just give gold. But there's a Kha'Zix jumping in. He says, "That's my blue buff, that's not yours." The ult being thrown down, the multiple Qs. The ult being put out from Trundle there, giving him the extra armor, but unfortunately that will not do it. The Troll King himself being taken down by a bug. And yeah, I mean, that's what Kha'Zix does best.
I'm gonna play Trundle more. He's the Troll King.
Yeah, he's a Troll King. That's what Trundle does best. Trundle, that's what Kha'Zix does best.
Yeah,
Kha'Zix, if you are by yourself, it's like a horror film.
Yeah, no.
Like, never be by yourself, rule 101. Do not investigate that mysterious noise
don't go
in the
down
basement.
to the basement.
Don't be like, is that a noise in the attic? I'm just gonna, no, you don't do that.
Get out.
Stay with your team. Otherwise, the Kha'Zix will pop out and just Q you and like instantly give all your health. But there's the Scuttle power effect, being thrown top lane, being able to take down that one tower. Whether it was to get another one, but the Alawi now flashing in, throwing the tentacles, but unfortunately only going to be able to hit the Darius, it looks like. The Akali now taking a little bit of damage there from the tower. The Vigar hitting a nice stun on 2 people, but unfortunately the MF and the Leona weren't there to follow it up, and the Jhin just throwing a Q out with the ult now, but the Janna picked up the kill. The ult coming up from the Leona, but maybe as a panic. Oh, but the dodges the Jhin ult as well. Will she get out of this? The Jhin W says, no, you will not. The Jhin E, sorry. And there's able to sniper off. He missed, I think he hit maybe 2 of those ults, and then the third one just straight down the middle.
Getting that sniper practice.
But that's made him, he actually went for a rapid fire cannon there. The Infinity Edge, the rapid fire cannon. The Janna's running an Ardent Sensor, so that's only going to add to the amount of attack speed, which will actually in turn give Jhin more AD, I believe. That's the scaling that works. I'm all for complete, Jhin. If you build Jhin with all attack speed items, whenever you hit someone with a crit, you gain extra movement speed on that.
Oh, really?
So you just run really fast. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, this one time in the game, I was playing Jhin like full movement speed on hit.
Yeah.
It's a weird build, but mid lane, and then I hit someone and then I just ran up next to them. And then I hit them again, and I ran circles around them as they tried to.
Wow, that's BM.
It was a Soraka,
Oh.
but it was just fun. It was just like Sonic. It was just like run around everywhere.
That's their fault playing Soraka mid.
Yeah, I mean, but she was slowing me in every instance. She had a free heal.
Okay.
But I mean, all lanes except for that bottom lane now being pushed into the inhibitor, which I mean is good for the Saint Eugene there. I mean, they're going to have less roaming to save all the lanes. They can rotate fairly quickly, but obviously the advantage for the green Chiefs here is the fact that they possibly could take an inhibitor down, and by taking the inhibitor, they most likely will grab onto that Baron and then push it straight into any one of the lanes and just take down the Nexus.
Yeah.
Either that or they are waiting for another dragon to come up. We are almost at Avatar the Last Airbender.
Wait, what?
Well, we've almost got all 4 elements.
Oh!
We're almost bending
Okay.
all the elements, Master. We've got to wait for that air drake to come through.
Unpopular
we're all
opinion,
good.
I've actually never seen that show.
It's on Netflix. Get on it, please.
Oh, okay.
It's only
If you say
like
so.
60 hours. So
Yeah,
it's
okay.
not much.
Yeah, okay.
But the Duskar Blade being picked up for the Kha'Zix there. He's got his item. The Ardent Sensor and the Redemption being picked up for the Janna. The MF now picked up her Black Cleaver, which is actually a good item in this situation. It does lend to her being more tanky. It does give her that health, and especially against, say, the Armor Shred can help her do a significantly more damage as well. But then the Starrick's Gauge being picked up for the Alawi. So everyone's slowly getting their items there. Obviously, it looks like the Chiefs Green are starting to pick up their items a lot more quickly because of the gold advantage that they do have and the objective advantage. And then it looks like they're just stalling out the game here, just pushing for these objectives.
Looks like that's an Infernal Drake that just
Yeah,
came up.
it's an Infernal Drake.
That's 2 Infernals. After this, surely you rotate the Baron and force that.
Yeah, I mean, they do need to be careful. You still do need to respect the damage that comes out of St. Eugene.
Yeah.
Oh, and unfortunately, buddy, horror mistake 101. You've walked into a brush. And a wild Kha'Zix appeared.
A wild Kha'Zix
And you had a
appeared,
level
and-
1 Pokemon, and now you're just dead. And now Sir Kha'Zix
Oh,
jumping in.
he's gone again.
He was hungry for more. He's picked up another one. Will we see 3, or whether they will rotate maybe over to that Baron now? However, topside has pushed up.
He's
They might-
creeping. He wants another one. He wants to jump over.
You can see it in his eyes. He's just sitting there
He
waiting for
smells
Alawi
blood.
to come out there. Alawi might be a little bit of a harder target to take down. He is still sitting there though, so we will see.
He's committing.
However, mid lane is now pushing in. Jhin and Akali have picked up that mid turret, so now there is that pressure on the mid inhibitor. MF did rotate up from the bot side there. And we'll see what happens now. Whether they go straight to Baron, we'll soon find out.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably gonna ward around that blue side for the blue buff side for the blue side, so they can rotate over to Baron. They do have Baron pink warded, so they do know if they can take that safely if they need to. Just looks like they are trying to force a little bit of a push here on that top lane. Kha'Zix is kind of just coming around taking the scuttle. No, he's recalling, so looks like they're probably just doing that. Oh, are they going to walk over and take Baron? No?
Well, I
They're
don't. I
rotating.
think there's a little bit
rotating.
of dancing at the
Yeah.
moment. I don't think that.
No one's really making that decisive call to.
Yeah, I mean, there needs to be a call essentially of like, hey, let's just go and grab like Baron per se,
Yeah.
as opposed to letting this dance go on. Essentially, the longer you do this dance and you just this back and forth, and you don't really do a lot, the less likely it is for you to actually keep that gold gap.
advantage, yeah.
Yeah, because essentially what you're doing is you're letting St. Eugene just farm up at the moment. You're not
Yeah.
applying pressure or anything. Yeah, you've taken down that mid tower, but you haven't grouped as a 5 and actually put pressure on that inhibitor.
I mean,
You've just been like tangoing, and it's just stalling out the game necessarily to a point where you could take Baron and you can push all 3 lanes.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, the Chiefs.
There's a nice
there's a
stun coming out
stun.
from Viger onto Janna, but it looks like nothing will come of it. Just a warning saying, hey,
Yeah.
don't come too close.
I mean,
I will stun you.
they do have that 18k gold lead advantage and the 4 dragons and a bunch more items. So they pretty much can force Baron right now if they wanted to.
And the Kha'Zix has also picked up his Yomus, which only means he's going to have more lethality, which means he doesn't care about any of the armor that you have. He's just going to be burning right through it. He's also sitting just in the backline there, waiting for an engage. The Alawi gets caught up, but you need to be careful whether you go into the Alawi. The Kha'Zix, unfortunately, not going to be able to get stacked. The Alawi is now throwing down her ult. The MF throws her ult as well, being able to pick up, unfortunately, nothing there. But the Kha'Zix picks up the Vigar after a persistent gank there. The Leona also unfortunately getting picked up. The Janna being able to heal her team there with an ultimate, being a good support. Also giving everyone the attack speed there. And I mean, that's probably the inhibitor, and on this would probably be the game if they want to keep pushing in on this. They've got a 10 and 0 Jhin. He's gone absolutely perfect there. He's just going to be able to take down the turrets, and I mean, and everyone else there is sitting pretty flawless. The Janna is 4-0-14. I don't know if there's much that this Trundle is going to be able to do. The Darius is going to be able to slap down that turret. They're actually going to disengage off this. However, the timers they weren't able to take down the turrets fast enough. The timers did come up. Now, whether Baron. They will rotate over to Baron now. I mean, it is a little bit risky since the rest of the team is now up, and they do have a majority of their cooldowns. They are throwing out the wards. They did throw out the Oracle, the scrying Oracle there, and just making sure that everything is clear of wards, and looks like they will be taking it. See, Kaz is getting a little bit low, but the Janna Hill coming through and just saying, hey, it's all going to be good. Especially with the Mountain Drake and Infernal, they're going to be able to melt through this. And whether it's up to these guys to go back now, grab items that they want to grab, and now re-push that top and bot lane. The Essence Reaver now being picked up for the Jhin. He's only going to be able to fire out those 4 bullets faster. Not faster, because he doesn't gain more attack speed. He's going to be able to throw them out harder. He's just going to, like, brick wall. He's shooting bricks. He's shooting bricks.
That's scary.
It is scary.
When there's 2 or 3 people in this game that have the perfect score at the moment, so they're playing really well. It looks like are they going to go down to pick up that last dragon buff? Is that an ender at the moment?
I don't believe it is late enough for an Ender Dragon.
It's only 29 minutes.
Yeah. They did get the first Drake fairly early, and they have rotated around. We won't see a 6 Drake, we'll see a 5 Drake.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this point as well, I mean, there's no real use to getting that dragon buff. Yeah. You are wasting the Baron buff there. So, and you're also pushing a lane that doesn't need it. Of course, these guys are a bit newer to the
It looks
to
good
the game.
to have those 3 Infernals up there, though.
I mean, that's scary. And I mean, if Elder does come up, that's only going to get doubled, and then the Infernal buff is only going to get like higher and higher. At this point, if I was a Chiefs green, I would want to push either lane. But the Alawi now getting caught out there. The Stark's Gauge being popped off, throwing down the ultimate as well. And the Dunk Master Darius says, no, sir.
Slam a dunk.
Slams the ult down, gets the refund. And unfortunately, Vigar's in the wrong position. And Darius is going to be able to pick that one off. And out of the war of attrition, the Darius is now going in there. The Leona, unfortunately, missing her ult. Almost taking down the MF, the Janna shield coming through. The Trundle now coming up to support it. There's an unofficial triple kill coming up for the Darius there. The Jhin now trying to snipe out. The MF being able to pick that one up. The Kha'Zix now has entered the fray. He picks that one up. That is an ace, an unofficial triple kill for the Darius there. And that looks like it will be game for the Chiefs green.
Yeah, they played an absolute fantastic game there, finishing with 2 kills to 33. A massive golden leader by the end there. All the dragons. They played a very methodical game. They played really well. But
yeah, I mean, obviously there were things here and there, but I mean, everyone here is new players.
Yeah, exactly.
And we all started somewhere, and I mean, if they're joining this, that means that they want to give this a red hot go.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm all for it, and I really hope that we do see them improve over the rest of the
no
tournament.
doubt that we will.
And especially with the amount of support that is coming out of everyone that is accustomed with this tournament, I'm sure that these guys will improve. And I would really love to see St. Eugene play again and, you know, refine their skills by playing as a team and figuring out comps and stuff.
Yeah, it's really hard to jump straight into a competition like this, especially you can tell that they probably haven't played very much together as a team. So, I mean, that's only going to improve with the more you play together. So it's only on the up for St. Eugene's.
And then also speaking on the end of the game, we give away an MVP.
Yeah.
And you've got an MVP and you've got an ace. So usually the ace is for the losing team. You usually give that out to the player there, and the MVP is for the winning team. I would love to give the MVP to the Janna. I think like a lot of tornadoes that she hit, she was very good at disengaging, very good at peeling away. And I mean, to give all the credit to the Jhin, I mean, you also have to give credit to the Zhana as well.
Yeah.
She was there supporting the whole time. She did some really, really great knockups there in the bottom lane, being able to control that zoning. I mean, which led to Jhin being 11-0.
Yeah, exactly. She was able to hit some of the knockups, which created those kills in the early game.
And then the ace on the other team, I mean, you got to give it to the Alawi. She definitely had the controlling over the Darius there and was able to hold her own against that lane. And maybe it did falter off a little bit, but that's just because Darius, it's just unfortunate the way that played out. But she definitely did hold her own in that early game and made a really, really good presence.
I agree.
Ace definitely goes to Alawi.
Yeah,
any closing statements from you?
Oh, yeah, well, that's the fantastic first game for the Chisholm Invitational. The Chiefs green taking out St. Eugene's there. We had two other games on today as well. So those results will all be coming through on the tournament website for the Chisholm Invitational. So make sure, if you're watching this stream, to go and check those results of all the other schools, see what the other schools are that are competing, and also make sure, as always, follow us on our all of our social medias.
Yeah, hit that top right, so hit that follow.
Yeah.
We want to, so you make sure that, especially we're not on a Tuesday anymore.
Yeah, Thursdays.
So make sure you know when we are going live, so feel free to hit that follow and you'll get a notification about when we go live. We will be back every Thursday here commentating over the tournament here. And also, it's really awesome that we actually do have support from UQ with this tournament. And it's really awesome that the finals of this tournament will actually be held at UQ, which means we're going to have some really awesome computers, a really awesome atmosphere. I mean, it's always great when we go there.
So stay tuned for that. I mean, there's going to be 5 weeks of build-up of games weekly like this on Thursdays. And then on the 9th of November, on that Saturday, we will all be at UQ for the finals. Hopefully, everyone can come. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a viewing party there where you can come and watch all the games being played live and streamed live. So chuck that into your calendar, 9th of November. And come watch the finals.
And I don't know if I have any closing statements, so I will leave it to you. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I think that's it. See you next week.
All right, yeah, I've been Chuai, that's been Mr. Dunphy. We'll see you guys next week.
See you later.